And a good morning to you. It's Monday, April 6th, 2020. I'm Jim with Cyber-Recon. In your cup of cyber, we've got our illy coffee wrapped up in a great Smoky Mountains cup. And if you've been following along, you know we've been working on the Security Plus track. And this morning we're going to jump into the third subdomain in the first domain, which we're going to talk about threat actor types, the types of threat actors that are going to come after your network. So if you want to learn more about this, plus the fascinating holiday it is today, stay tuned for the talk after the brief intro. And welcome back. So first off, it is April 6th, a date which we call New Beer's Eve. Happy New Beer's Eve. And this is because tomorrow, April 7th in 1933, the 18th Amendment was repealed, and that meant alcohol was legal again in the United States. Folks lined up at midnight tonight for the 12:01 April 7th opening of breweries and bars and distilleries and that kind of stuff. So 1933 started the little-known holiday of New Beer's Eve. So that is the holiday of the day. So on to Security Plus. And today we're talking about, still in Domain 1, but we're talking about the subdomain 1.3, threat actor types and attributes. We're going to talk about really the first half of that subdomain, which is the threat types of threat actors. So types of threat actors, what we're going to talk about this morning. So first up on the docket is an attacker or a threat called a script kiddie. And if you've watched any movies or anything like that, you've probably seen somebody called a script kiddie. So Wikipedia says, in programming and hacking cultures, a script kiddie or skiddy or skid is an unskilled individual who uses scripts and programs developed by others to attack computer systems and networks and deface websites, such as a web shell. Sure, that's good definition. And really, it points out what this type of a person is. They get a little bit of knowledge. They find some places on the internet where they can download computer scripts or little programs that can be used to attack networks or computer systems or web pages, and then they just repackage them and use them. So they don't really know what the program is doing. They don't have the skill to create the program on their own. They really are new to this, and they can cause a lot of damage because they don't know what they're doing. They grab stuff just off the internet, random stuff off the internet, and they use it to attack other systems. So they are a script kiddie. In hacking culture, it's really an insult if somebody does call you a script kiddie, because that's really the folks in this world that really don't know anything. They're just grabbing programs and running them, really don't know what they're doing. But they are dangerous because they can download a good attack script and point it at your network and do some damage. The next one, hacktivists, which start getting a little more dangerous as we move up these scales, right? So a hacktivist, according to Wikipedia again, is an internet hacktivism, or hacktivism, spelling there, is the use of technology to promote a political agenda or social change. So these are folks that believe in something, and we don't really know, just based on them being a hacktivist, whether they're really good at attacking systems or they're a script kiddie, right? So they could be any type of attacker in this basket, but they're doing it. The reason they're doing it is a political or a social reason. So maybe they are against deforestation and they go after logging and timber and lumber websites, or maybe they're against the the American political system. They go after American military and political websites. So they have an ideology behind why they're attacking someone more than their skill level. So this means they can be really persistent. They can attacked for a good long time because they are doing it for something they really believe in. So they can be pretty dangerous. Um, Speaking about dangerous, organized crime, and again, um, as you know, if I can get these definitions from NIST, I will, because that's kind of the official, you know, standard definition I want to use. But most of these are coming from Wikipedia because NIST is a little bit behind on defining some of these things. So again, a Wikipedia definition: organized crime is a category of transnational, national, or local groupings of highly centralized enterprise run by criminals to engage in illegal activities, most commonly for profit. Some criminal organizations, such as terrorist groups, are politically motivated. And that's from Wikipedia. And a lot of times we talk about organized crime, we're talking about crime organizations that do it for profit, right? Um, a lot of times in the United States, we associate this with like the mob or the mafia. There's Russian organized crime that's really fairly big in computer crime. So they're organized to attack systems, and they do it for profit. So they're not necessarily going after your home server or your home computer system to attack it per se, but maybe they may attack your system to do something against maybe a bank or to mine Bitcoin or something like that. So there can be a reason they attack your home network, but normally they're going to go after something for profit. There's a profit motive for them in attacking your network. So if you're working for an organization, a bank, or a financial institution, or a company, or something like that, definitely organized crime is something you should worry about. Anyone in this field should worry about organized crime because they can use your systems to attack other people that are a bigger target, right? Um, One of the biggest things we worry about, and this is pretty big in just about any network, we worry about nation states, or APTs, or advanced persistent threats. So a nation state, define that first, is a state in which a majority shares the same cultural view and their conscience of it. So, in the United States, we can say we're a nation state because we all kind of believe in. Generally, we all believe in the principles of the United States. China can say the same thing. In China, they definitely believe in the same principles of that. Russia. So these big, a nation state is normally a country, but it doesn't have to be bound by national borders. So it can be bigger or smaller than a country. It can be a subset of a country, or it can be made up of multiple countries. But it's that nation state, and they give the ability for these nation state actors to conduct advanced persistent threat activities, right? So an advanced persistent threat, or an APT, which you definitely have to know this one, is a stealthy computer network threat actor, typically a nation state or state-sponsored group which gains unauthorized access to computer networks and remains undetected for an extended period of time. It means they've got the resources, they've got the ability, they've got technologies they can use that maybe is advanced of what the defenses are. So maybe things like zero-day exploits they have the access to that they can levy against your network, right? So advanced operators behind the threat have full spectrum intelligence gathering techniques at their disposal. They have the ability to pull in, you know, nation level intelligence gathering activities. They're persistent. Operators give priority to a specific task rather than opportunistically seeking information for financial or other gain. So they're going to pick a target and they're going to stay on that target until they are successful. And then threat. APTs are a threat because they have both the capability and the intent to launch their attack and sustain it over time. So we worry a lot about APTs when we're talking about government systems, critical infrastructure, that kind of thing, because we don't want nation states or our potential enemies to be able to disrupt those activities. Insiders, this is definitely a danger as well. This is from NIST, one of NIST definitions. Any person with authorized access to any, and this says U.S. government resource, but any of your resources, your organizational resources, to include personnel, facilities, information, equipment, networks, or systems. These are just, if you have people that are authorized to be in your space, people that are authorized to be on your network systems, people that have the authorization to be there, those are insiders. And that's the insider threat we worry about, because if if those people turn rogue, or if those people want to give away secrets, or if they want to allow access to the network, even if they're doing it unintentionally, maybe by clicking a phishing link, they have the ability to allow more access normally than the attacker's going to have right off the bat, because they have access to start with. So if you're talking about an administrator maybe that is doing the wrong thing, maybe they're surfing the internet or opening their email with their administrator account, when that account is attacked, then the attacker has administrative level of authorization right away. And if the guy goes rogue, guy or girl, guy being gender neutral, if that person goes rogue, they have authorization to be on the network. And if their level of authorization is the level of damage they can do. So if they're a normal user, they're going to do some damage. If they're administrator, they can do even more damage. So insiders are a big threat we worry about, because they have permissions to your network to start with. They have permissions to be there. So they're already inside your network, inside the walls of defense, so to speak. And then competitors. Google definition: any organization or country engaged in commercial or economic competition with others. It's just, who are your competitors? They're probably going to be coming at you too. They may not be coming at you full on with a hacking event, but they may use things like, looking at your web page and doing things like, open source research, trying to find out what's going on with you. And some organizations, competitors, may actually go into the lengths of hacking your network or attacking your network to try to gain information on what you're doing. So know your competitors, know who your competitors. If you're Coke, your competitor is probably Pepsi. You probably got a bunch of other competitors, but that's a big one. So you may have to worry about Pepsi. You may have to worry about Crown Royal. You may have to worry about Dr. Pepper. You may have to worry about all these other places. But who are your competitors, and are they a threat to you? So that really sums up the threat actors you need to know, at least for the Security Plus exam. Are there more that we've defined? Sure. But for this exam, it's important that you know those threat actors, because those are the ones you're going to be tested on. And we can always go on and talk about more of them, but I think focus on the ones you need right now. If you know those ones, you're going to be good to go for this certification. So, as always, like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell to be notified. These courses will be extended on the Security Plus course that's on Cyber-Recon. So if you go there, sign up for the course, I think there's going to be a discount probably extended through April just because of what's going on. Anyways, join us next time when we dive deeper into Security Plus. And as always, be safe out there.